It was Halloween night, and the rain was hitting the siding of my house in heavy, rhythmic thumps. I was sitting in the living room, surrounded by half-empty bowls of candy, just waiting for the clock to hit midnight so I could finally go to sleep. My phone buzzed against my leg, a notification from the front door camera. Motion detected at 11:42 p.m. This image is what I saw when I opened the app. A person was standing on my porch, drenched, staring straight into the lens. They weren't moving. They weren't even blinking as the rain ran down their face. I zoomed in on the coat the person was wearing. It was a charcoal wool trench coat with a missing bottom button. I looked toward my own hallway closet. That was my coat. And the face looking into the camera was mine. My heart started thudding against my ribs. I was sitting right here. I hadn't gone outside in hours. I checked the status of the front door. Locked, secure. Then I heard it. A slow, heavy footstep from the floor directly above me. Creak. Then another. Someone was walking across my bedroom. The figure on the porch hasn't moved an inch. My phone still shows them standing there, eyes wide, watching the door. But the footsteps upstairs are getting louder, moving toward the top of the stairs. I stood up, my legs feeling like lead, and backed out of the living room. I needed to get to the back door, but the hallway was the only way out. As I stepped into the corridor, every smart bulb in the house hummed with a low electrical buzz. In one smooth motion, the white light died, and the entire hallway was flooded in a deep, aggressive red. This is what was projected on the wall. A shadow, darker than the rest of the room, was stretching out across the drywall. It wasn't attached to my feet. It was moving on its own. I froze, but the shadow didn't. It raised a hand and pointed a long, warped finger toward the kitchen at the end of the hall. It was mimicking my posture, but its movements were fluid, like it was made of liquid. I tried to toggle the lights back to white on my phone, but the app was frozen. The house felt hot, vibrating with that low hum. I couldn't see the exit anymore, only the red glare and the shape on the wall. I ran. I didn't care about the noise anymore. I stumbled into the kitchen, the red light reflecting off the stainless steel appliances. I grabbed the handle of the largest knife in the block. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped it. I stood in the center of the room, turning in circles, waiting for something to come out of the dark. A sudden, metallic clack came from the corner. I spun around, blade out, but it was just the refrigerator dropping a fresh load of ice into the tray. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the quiet house. My phone vibrated so violently in my pocket that it felt like an electric shock. I pulled it out, the screen blindingly bright. A new text message. I looked at the sender ID. It was my own number. I was receiving a text from the phone I was currently holding in my hand. There were only 3 words in the bubble. I see you. I dropped the phone on the counter. It vibrated again. Another message from myself, and then another. The screen was just a scrolling wall of I see you over and over again, lighting up the kitchen like a strobe light. I couldn't stay in the open. I bolted for the stairs, thinking if I could just get to the master bedroom and lock the heavy oak door, I'd have a chance to call for help. The moment my foot hit the first step, a pair of heavy, wet feet slammed onto the floor behind me. They were running, fast. A sound filled the stairwell. It was a chorus of whispers, dozens of them, all talking at once. It sounded like a crowd was standing right behind my head. I could make out the words. It was my voice. All of them were my voice, screaming and pleading for help in 100 different tones, all perfectly synchronized with my own frantic breathing. I scrambled upward, my fingers clawing at the carpet. I didn't look back. I could feel the air shifting as something moved up the stairs right behind me, reaching for my ankles. I made it to the landing, slammed the bedroom door, and threw the bolt. I dragged the heavy dresser in front of the frame, my muscles screaming as I wedged it into place. Then the whispering stopped. The running stopped. I was standing in the dark, trapped in a room with one door and a 30-foot drop out the window. I crawled into the walk-in closet and pulled the slided door shut. I sat there in the dark, the smell of my own clean laundry surrounding me, and pulled my phone back out. I dialed 911. I didn't think it would work, but the line started ringing. One ring, two, then a click. 911? What is your location? The dispatcher asked. I told her I was hiding in my closet, that someone was in the house. There was a long silence. Then she said, I know. We're already in the room with you. The voice didn't come from the phone. I heard it from the corner of the closet, right next to my ear. I turned the flashlight toward the sound. I'm looking at the screen, and I'm looking at the face, and I can hear us both breathing at exactly the same time.